Back to Havana Media. My name is Boniface Awino, and as usual, I'm going to be your host for today. Now, today we are very lucky again to host, to have a guest here who is Honorable Dan Lukurito. God's willing, he'll be one of the MPs, incoming MPs of 2027. I don't know how serious, I don't know how he's serious with that, but that one is a story for another day. Mr. Dan, now let me start by asking this question. That it's not like a question, but one of the best ways of healing and the fastest way of healing from trauma or maybe from a lot of problems is by interacting with the people. I'm bringing this scenario because right now we know that there is one of us. Let's just say that he's right now he's one of us who was just impeached the other day.
Oh, that is Gachagua.
The Gachagua. I've realized something with Gachagua. Gachagua, I don't know whether he's healing so fast or maybe just because of the way he's interacting with the people. I think the interaction with the people is making him feel like now he's okay.
You know when... okay, first, hi viewers, and thank you for joining this broadcast again this morning. And we thank God that he has kept us alive.
Yeah.
Now, coming to the question of Gachagua, and of course you said you are not sure whether I'll be running in 2020.
Yeah, I'm not sure, yeah.
If you are listening to me and you are from Webuye East, let's keep talking. Things, we are preparing something. Now, Gachagua. You know, Gachagua is married to a bishop.
Pastor Dorcas. Pastor Dorcas, yeah.
Now, there is something when you are married to a pastor. These people are gifted and they even preach to you when you are sleeping, when you wake up, when you go to whatever you do, they preach to you. With that kind of encourager and the kind of encouragement they give you, it is very easy for you to heal. And that is why, you are right, one of the ways of healing is by interacting with people. You see, if it was any other ordinary person, they'd probably be locked, they would have locked themselves somewhere and mourned for many days or maybe gone to exile. But I like the way Gachagua is taking this.
And in fact, he's even appearing publicly.
Yes, and he even said, went to the media and told the president, I wish you well. It is not, I don't carry grudges. I saw even the message that Pastor Dorcas shared on her social media. And she said, we will continue praising God in good or bad times. Yes. That is the kind of attitude we need. And that is, last time I was here, I told you about us testing this constitution. You know, in 2010, when we were, before we passed this constitution, one of the people who voted no for it is Ruto.
Yeah.
And the other one was, I think, Uhuru Kenyatta. They were on the no side.
Yeah.
And at that time, I told people that one day you are going to elect the same people who rejected this constitution to implement it, and you'll see wonders. These are some of the things we are seeing today. People who didn't believe in this constitution have been given a responsibility to implement it. And I think as challenging as it is a good thing for the country because it shows we are also growing as a democracy. The only fear we might have is when we have tendencies of dictatorship like we used to have in the 90s, in the early 90s.
Early 90s.
Yes, and the late 80s. During the one-party rule, wakati hiyo ya KANU. You know, with all due respect to the president, you know, he has captured every arm of government today. He has in the last election he won by about 7 million votes.
Yeah, it was 7 million. That is according to
the records.
According to the records.
Raila was number 2 with about 6.9 million.
6.9.
You put those together, you have about 14 million. Now these people have joined hands. And they want to oppress Kenyans, and now they are asking us, Mutadu. We will do what we want.
And Mr. Dan, talking about oppression, I don't know whether I'm the one who is overthinking, or maybe I'm doing too much research, and it's like now blowing my mind. I've realized something. I've tried so hard to study different countries, especially where dictatorship is, because truth be told, that is where we might be heading to, the dictatorship era, whereby what the government or what the president says, that is what should be done.
Actually, before you ask your question, it is true we are headed in that direction. And that is why President Ruto doesn't want somebody who looks brighter than him, somebody who challenges him. The reason, in my view, that made him choose Kindiki as his deputy president without a political constituency. Kindiki doesn't have any political influence.
He doesn't have. Yeah.
So, Gachagua had supporters, not only in Central, but the rest of the country. And if what Gachagua was saying is to be believed, he is the only man who could stand up and tell the president, no, we don't need to do this, we need to do it this way. Now, Ruto is not the kind of person who listens to such, he doesn't want those kinds of people near him, because he wants to always be the brightest man in the room. He knows everything. So whatever you tell, even those days when he was deputy president, some of his advisors were saying, that guy doesn't listen to anyone. Unfortunately, we didn't believe at that time, and that is why we supported him. But as I said before, we still regret, and we hope we will correct the situation come the next election if God will give us favor to survive. You know, these days people are disappearing every day.
Yeah, every day.
You might wake up
in the morning,
and Corito is missing. But we hope it doesn't happen. So we are going towards dictatorship, and I don't know how it will end. But then we are also dealing with a more enlightened generation. These days, information is free, freely available online, so people learn. These Gen Zs, I told you, these guys who went to the streets and threatened the government. These are the people who benefited from Kibaki's free education. And you see how education can enlighten people. And I think that is why this government is intentionally trying to roll back the gains of education. You see, even the funding method they introduced for university education. Today, so many students are going to be locked out of university education because they cannot afford, simply because they have been put in the wrong band.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that is what he's trying to do, to make sure that, you cannot oppress bright people.
You can't, it's very hard.
Stand up against you. So I think that is what is going through some minds of the president and the people around him. And then again, you look at, I know how to judge a man based on who he keeps close to him. When you look at the president and the kind of people who are surrounding him, those are the ones I take to be his main advisors. Moi used to have a kitchen cabinet. We knew it. At some point, Kibaki had also some kitchen cabinet, mainly from this what we used to call the Central Mafia. Uhuru had his own. And Uhuru seems to have had very good advice.
Exactly.
In my view.
Okay. I think Uhuru is so far Uhuru is the president that was very lucky to have best advisors.
I think so. I think so, because even looking at, he had all the power, and he could do exactly what Ruto has done to Gachagua to Ruto, but he didn't do it. Why did he not do it? Because he had very good advisors. Many months before the impeachment of Gachagua, I read a tweet from our friend Oscar Sudi, and he said, by Christmas, somebody will have gone home. It has happened. It means people like Sudi
are the advisors, are the legal advisors,
are the kitchen cabinet in this particular government. People like Farouk are the kitchen cabinet. People like you are mentioning Ichungwa, and so many
this Kisii guy Osoro.
Osoro.
Yeah.
This funny character surrounding the president. I do not want to say they are really. Of course, but he doesn't listen to anyone anyway. So possibly they just sit there and whatever he says, they cheer and go and share online. I want to believe that is what happens. So the impeachment was not a matter of Gachagua having done
anything wrong.
Those accusations. Because if we were to copy paste the same accusations and tie them to any of the members of parliament or any governor or any senator or even the president himself, we will find them guilty of the same sins that they are accusing Gachagua of. So no one is clean in this case. So why did Gachagua have to go? Because he could stand up against William.
So William doesn't want anybody who stands.
William doesn't like opposition.
And one thing I know, I noticed one thing. You've just mentioned something concerning Kithure Kindiki before I ask the question that I wanted to ask. And I've realized that Kithure Kindiki has got no, because even the people from the mountain are saying that, okay, Kindiki is their son. But they really love Gachagua. So that one tells you that Kithure Kindiki has got no influence. So even this mindset that the people are having, that perhaps William Samoei have taken Kindiki to be his deputy so that he can find ways of mobilizing Mount Kenya is not a fact.
Kindiki is not a politician.
Yeah.
That is something we need to, you know, politics and maybe execution of an assigned duty. Okay, when it comes to execution in terms of dealing with the issue of banditry in Baringo and some other places, Kindiki did well.
Yeah.
When it comes to dealing with the Gen Zs, he did a bad job. Actually, we should be taking him
to court. He should be taken to court.
He should
to ICC, in fact.
ICC.
Yeah.
The same ICC where he defended Ruto. They know how they did it.
The same ICC which has now which created the friendship between the two of them.
Exactly. But when you look at it from a political angle, their Ruto scored 0 because the results will come out in 2027 when we have the next election. And one of the guys I was listening to during this debate, did you listen to what Cherargei said?
Cherargei, yeah, I heard him.
He's the only man who stood against that motion. Why did he do so? Because he's a Nandi? I don't think so.
Not because he's a Nandi.
Not because he's a Nandi. Not because he was fighting Ruto. But he decided to stand for the truth. But somebody would argue and say truth is relative in this case. Yes, it is. But then when you look at the facts, you realize, like I just said a few minutes ago, if we copy-pasted the same accusations against anyone in this government, everybody is guilty.
Will fall the trap of Gachagua.
Yes, everybody is guilty. So there has to be another reason why Gachagua has to go. Whether it was because of the rumors we keep hearing, or he was standing against ABCD, whether it is about some other personal relationships, we cannot tell.
So in any way, in either ways, Gachagua could have just gone. In fact, they had set their mind, because I was asking myself, why is it this thing is being done so fast? The parliament, the senate, and then the senate, the court, and then the same day that the court have said that the Kindiki can be sworn in, the following day it's swearing in.
And on this one, I must congratulate the whole government machinery. They were very efficient.
They're very efficient.
Actually, the gazetting was even done after midnight.
The gazetting, we saw, personally I saw it at around was it around 10? And
now that we talk of gazetting again, it was gazetted by the Speaker of the National Assembly.
The Speaker of the National Assembly.
Does it mean he slept at State House?
That is a question.
Because the government printer now operates from State House.
So, and then, not actually the Speaker, it was gazetted by the Cabinet Secretary, that is Nani Mudavadi.
the issue of Gachagua's impeachment.
Oh, Gachagua's impeachment was gazetted by the speaker, and then now the issue of the swearing in was gazetted by Mudavadi.
A few minutes after being appointed, acting interior. Yes. So that tells you something. You know, initially the government printer used to operate under the Ministry of Interior. Now it is at State House.
At State House.
And without mentioning Kosgei, of course, we can assume he has a hand in this.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, why be so efficient in such a matter? And we have other matters that are affecting Kenyans every day that take too long to act upon. It means if we make some of these things urgent enough, the government is capable of acting in time.
So, okay.
They simply refuse. You see, just to mention again, after the handshake, now yesterday we are told the SGR is going through Kisumu to Malaba, across to Uganda.
Now it's going.
Now the people in Western are asking Papa Waroma, what have you been doing there? Because this railway line was to come through, I think they assumed it will pass through Bungoma and so on.
Like the other one?
Yes, like the old one.
The old one.
Which makes sense. And, okay, a lot of things in government don't make sense these days.
How will they make sense if the person that is leading the government does not make sense?
Well, that is another good question. And this guy, I don't know. You know, the Bible says all liars will go to hell. I don't know.
All liars.
I don't know whether he reads that part of the Bible.
But he's an evangelist.
And
yesterday they were in church.
Yesterday they were in church. They have started the game they were doing since 2018. I don't know what is the agenda this time around. But but last time I made a comment about the involvement of the church in politics. It is coming back again through the Sunday services and such like. And that is why I liked Moi. Moi used to attend service at AIC Milimani every Sunday, but he never addressed anything from the pulpit.
And Moi only had got one church that he normally went to. The AIC.
We knew Moi was a member of the AIC church. We knew Kibaki as a Catholic. We knew Uhuru as a Catholic. This Ruto
is an Adventist.
You cannot belong everywhere.
But does evangelists have got a specific church, or they preach on the street?
You have to be grounded somewhere. According to the theology I've studied, I know a bit of it. You need what we call a spiritual parent.
And don't forget, talking about the spiritual parent, don't forget that Reverend Teresa Wairimu said that they are spiritual children. Then when she was trying to condemn what they did.
By the way, what is Reverend Teresa's church called?
I can't remember. I don't know.
Yeah. So those are some of the things we need to find out. And then, leadership and religion, in my view, and I still insist, we can never put these things together. We need to keep them separate. At least, but like I was saying, Moi was not a good leader, but then he knew how to separate religion from politics.
From politics, yeah.
If the president starts this game of going around in churches, what would happen if by bad luck, okay, not bad luck, by luck, either good or bad, we elect Duale as the president next? Will State House be turned into a mosque?
A mosque.
For Muslims only? Or will we start seeing press conferences from mosques?
And don't forget that the Somalis are saying that the next person to be president or deputy will be Aden Duale.
And I want to agree with them based on this reason. One, these guys wamejipanga in terms of finances. Actually, Isli is a small Mogadishu.
Yeah.
It is a city on its own. They have their own banking system. they have enough resources. They are almost buying everything here in Nairobi, even next to State House here. I saw the other day they are building a very big mosque around there. These days, you go to any estate within Nairobi, there are mosques all over. These people are allowed to marry up to 4 wives.
Up to 4.
And each wife is advised 10. To get at least 10 children. 10 children. So if we talk of only 1 million of them,
they are very
marrying 4 wives each, that is 1 million men, 4 million women, 10 children 10. Each.
And then the children also does the same.
And the children do the same. These guys are going to produce a president in our lifetime. Maybe even in the next election. The other thing I like about Muslims, remember I told you I've worked for a mosque and I've worked for a church. These people are very united. If you were to get into a confrontation with one of them and the others are there, they'll first defend their own before they ask you what was the problem. But what do we do as Christians?
We fight our own.
We crucify our own people. Just like they crucified Jesus. I think this is an inbuilt character of a Christian, to just hate each other.
Yeah, just hating each other for no reason. Yeah,
not to forgive. And the Bible says about forgiveness, forgive 70 times 7 times, is it?
7 times 70.
In a day.
In a day. So you can calculate that. So it means that forgiveness is a recurring thing.
For people, God knew that people will always make mistakes, and that is why that verse appeared in the Bible. So if as a Christian I cannot forgive my fellow Christian, then on Sunday I'm in church wearing a kanzu and some kofia and pretending and dancing and singing for the Lord in quotes, then people should ask themselves,